Welcome into another edition of Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard, and we saw what the Mavericks looked like in Summer League without Cooper Flagg, and it was pretty dreary as the Charlotte Hornets defeated the Dallas Mavericks 87 to 69, and there wasn't really any major standouts from this game. Uh, Ryan Nembhard did go 11 points, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, so pretty. It could do better on the ratio, but not terrible. 3 rebounds, 4 of 8 from the field, so fixed that efficiency from the last performance at least. 2 of 3 from 3. I do think there's a place for Ryan Nembhard down the line on this team. I said it over and over again. I think he just plays the right way. He plays winning basketball, did it at Gonzaga. His brother plays winning basketball over in Indiana. Um, so yeah, I'm not saying he'll be Andrew Nembhard by any means, but in terms of being a pretty solid role player within the NBA and having a pretty good NBA career, I could see that from Ryan Nembhard. Um, haven't really seen that from anyone else really in summer league like that. Outside of Kelly had a couple good games here and there, a couple flashes. Um, and then obviously Cooper Flagg, but you see what happens when you have the number one pick on your summer league team and then you shut them down. You have a team like the Charlotte Hornets who, they had a pretty solid draft. You see guys like Con Knipple go off. Cooper Flagg's former teammate. So yeah, they are. I don't ever really trust Charlotte Hornets draft picks, but we'll see how it goes for them. And we obviously know that we have Cooper Flagg, and that's all that matters. And speaking of, let's talk about some of the takeaways from Cooper Flagg at Summer League. I think the number one thing, obviously, was that management and Jason Kidd was not lying about how much they wanted Cooper Flagg with the ball in his hands playing point guard. He had the ball in his hands a lot. Obviously he had some sets where he played off the ball, but for a lot of the time he was taking the ball up and initiating the offense, and he obviously didn't look 100% comfortable at first, but I think that will come with time, and obviously as the game slows down for him, I think this might be a role that he could be beneficial in down the line. Again, I'm not 100% sure if he could do this role this year at the level they need him to do it at, but that's something that we're going to have to wait and see if Jason Kidd feels differently. Um, and speaking of Jason Kidd, he obviously mentioned he wanted Cooper Flagg, excuse me, to feel uncomfortable playing point guard. And per synergy, Flagg served as the pick and roll ball handler on 15 possessions in 2 games. Flagg totaled 11 points on those possessions. He finished with 1 assist against San Antonio and 4 against the Lakers in his games. So yeah, I mean, they definitely mixed it in terms of him being, you know, that guy that's going to move the ball around. Um, the second thing that I definitely noticed was that, you know, I think he's going to be, once he develops, he's going to be a very, like, similar scorer to what he was in college, but on the NBA scale, in terms of the three level, in terms of the transition game. I feel like we saw all of it in those 2 games. We saw the transition dunks, we saw the mid-range jump shots, we saw the sets where he's cutting and getting wide open layups, all of that. I think that's a lot of what you're gonna see from him on the Mavericks this season. And I don't think it's just a summer league thing. I think that's a regular season thing too. I think they're gonna try to move him around a lot and take advantage of the fact that he can score on all 3 levels. And you saw that early on with summer league. But another thing you did see in terms of flashes anyway was the flashes of the versatile defense, the help side defending in terms of shot blocking, being able to switch on almost anyone in every position. Yes, does he get burned sometimes? Yes. And especially in that Spurs game, there was a few times where you could tell he put a lot of energy in on offense, a lot of energy in on passing the ball, so you saw it kind of lack in his defense at times in the summer league. I think once the games mean a little more, I think you naturally start playing a little bit harder defense. But two, he is adjusting to that playmaking role, and he has said it tired him out. He was exhausted. So, where you saw flashes of the elite defense, I think you'll see more of it when he's asked to do less of the playmaking stuff early on. Um, but yeah, I think the last takeaway is just kind of just how much of a pro Cooper Flagg is already. And I know I even said early on that he's the most NBA ready prospect in the draft. But you just hear some of his quotes, and obviously I've said them over the last few episodes in terms of all the press conferences and interviews he's done, but he is just so polished. He always says the right things, and he's not even supposed to be in the NBA right now. He reclassified, obviously, so he's supposed to be a freshman in high school right now, or freshman in high school, excuse me, a freshman in college right now. So yeah, it's just very impressive to see where he's gotten to already and just how he speaks and how he carries himself. It's just truly amazing. And one last thing, and that this kind of plays on what I was talking about. Jason Kidd gave a statement actually to Mark J. Spears of ESPN, and he said Cooper Flagg is really mature for an 18-year-old, plays both ends hard, offensively can score and pass, has a high IQ defensively, solid all around, a great young man. I'm lucky to be his coach. And coaches don't have to talk like that when it comes to their number one overall picks. They do not have to. Um, so kudos, and especially a veteran like Jason Kidd is not going to just give flowers to anyone. So to hear him talk so glowingly about Cooper Flagg early on before he's even stepped on a regular season NBA court is telling, and it's really good news if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan. Now, I want to move on to the next topic at hand where Nico Harrison has provided an update on Kyrie Irving's injury status. We obviously heard earlier on last week that Mark Cuban expects Kyrie Irving to bounce back and be back this season because he lives to ball, and Nico Harrison was at the summer league, and NBA TV pulled him aside and he said Kyrie Irving's ahead of schedule. We kind of knew he would be because of the way he attacks his rehab, and he's going to be 2-3 times a day, or he's going at it 2-3 times a day, but we don't want to rush him as much as he wants to rush it, but he's going to be fine. Again, I mean, it is Nico Harrison, so you have to take it at a grain of salt a little bit, obviously. But I will say, typically, ownership and executives don't put that type of info out there to let people know that he's ahead of schedule if he's not, and if Kyrie wasn't comfortable with people knowing that he's a little bit ahead of schedule, I think Nico would know. So I just take it as be happy. Kyrie's ahead of schedule. I would expect him to be back next year at some point, but they're just not going to really put a timeline on it because, to be fair, it's not fair to Kyrie Irving. Um, so yeah, Kyrie Irving ahead of schedule with his ACL injury, so that is great news for the Mavericks and its fans. But to wrap things up on Mavs latest with some Mavs chatter, D'Angelo Russell, he had a vlog and he spoke about how he spoke his Mavericks contract into existence. And the cameraman, he asked D'Angelo if he has any predictions ahead of free agency. This is obviously recorded before free agency. And before he could even finish, Russell bluntly replies, Dallas, putting it into the air, bro. If I can get there, it'll be great. Just betting on myself. Dallas is where excuse me, I want to be. So kind of cool for D'Angelo there, knowing what location he wanted to go to, knowing that it was the best opportunity for him at this moment in time. And apparently Dallas agreed and they were able to work out a contract and D'Angelo Russell, he's spoken into existence. He's obviously now a Dallas Maverick, as all of you know, and he signed a 2-year deal. And we'll see how it goes. Again, if you've been watching Mavs Latest, you know I'm not 100% optimistic on the fit, but I'm not totally down on it either. D'Angelo definitely fits a need that the Mavericks have. So this has been Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard. Please subscribe down below. Please comment down below. And let's get it, y'all.